Hello, Titan Esports viewers. Today we are serving up another dish of the NACL OQ. Today we have round 6 of the losers bracket, and it is me, Crims, reprising my role as a caster alongside 74. 74, welcome to the OQ, and this is going to be a very interesting game between Dorado and Fisher College.
Thanks for having me, Crims. Pleasure to be here. The OQ as well. I am super excited to see Dorado and Fisher go head to head here. I think this is the lower bracket, correct?
Yes, so they have already lost the game, and they're going to be making their lower bracket run to that qualifying stage. And so, I mean, there's a lot of teams that they're going to have to get through to get to that qualifier.
Yeah, they got a long road ahead of them. But I'm just saying, if you want to get to the top, you have to win anyway. Unless you're near airport, then they're just going to speed run the league anyway. Yeah. But yeah, there's some contested picks among these two teams. Interested to see who B1's what and who tries to take what from the other in this fearless best of 3.
Yeah, there's still going to be. I mean, we've seen a lot of the picks come around into the first stage. We talked about it before stream here. Of course, we got the classics like the Varus and the Skarner. We're starting to see more like Talia. Of course, Azir's been throughout the entire tournament so far, and if you could play Callista, there's also those Callista options here. So, 74, is there anything about these specific teams that you're looking forward to in particular?
I'm more so interested in the contested picks. So Corki, see who does that first, honestly. But then the mid lane Azir battle, whoever gets Azir or Corki, I think in this series is going to have an edge up. And then there is a slight contested pick across 2 different roles here with Fisher's mid Wayne and Royal Dorado's top for the Aurora. So let's see who gets what. Oh, Darius immediately banned.
Yeah, so Darius is an interesting pick. It's loses really hard to Aurora, but then once the lane phase is over and you have the Ghost, you can just run Aurora down. So it's always interesting to see if players are going to be willing to pick the Darius or not, as we have the J-Span. I think J-Span makes a lot of sense. Just one of the best OP top picks. Doesn't really have a losing matchup.
Yeah, no, the Darius pick, especially for me, is against, I think, BRNSS for... because he plays it a lot, and he's played it in comp so far. But the J-Span is also a self-ban against both of these top laners, so I'm interested to see what they're trying to pick here by banning the Darius, because they're trying to pick something else and then give, the Udyr for Verdict.
Here. Yep. Okay, so Verdict gets the Udyr, likes picking this champion. They're going to try to get away with it in game number 1 here. So interesting enough, the Corki's been banned away. They're going to go ahead and pick a different route for that. We don't have Varus. Yeah, Lily into Udyr makes sense. We don't have the Varus or the Ashe, so AD carry pick. What is going to be the answer? Ezreal?
Yeah, they're probably going to go... So, Lily, a great pick into Udyr. Match is clear. He's melee, has to walk into them. There's the heavy prior on the Jinx for Bravo as well, so that's just a neutral that can be paired with either an engaged support or a enchanter. See what angle they take with it.
Sword Blue is fairly good on the engaged supports as well. It does have the enchanters famously played the Sona, so definitely has enchanters unlocked both sides of the support pool. As we have Karma, one of the best laning supports in the game, also makes appearances on the top lane. They're going to go with the classic combo, Ezreal Karma here.
It's also super good with the Udyr, Seraphine as well. Olaf, say you're Olaf jungle, you got Seraphine or Karma, you pair it with an enchanter support, speed it up, Seraphine ult through him. But they answered, Ezreal's a high mobility AD carry, super safe, high agency, but Nautilus is a standard pick. Like when we had Zeri in the meta, you just press R, you just choose when to engage on the Ezreal.
Yeah, so definitely with the guaranteed engage of Nautilus here, can provide that lockdown that they were needing on the team. Didn't see much CC, so Nautilus is going to fill that in. Interested to see how the lane phase is going to go, if both of these teams are going to be more heavy roaming style, or if they're going to go for more of the lane dominator strategy here, because I think either side could play for that.
Well, see, Lilia is a strong clear, for sure, and she's a scaling pick as well, but you have guaranteed CC in the bot lane, so it depends if they want a weak side bot here and just kind of let Bravo and Sword Blue just play it out in a neutral lane state, or it depends on what kind of top lane matchup they're looking for. Oh, the Ambessa, another strong contested pick among the top laners.
Renekton is up, so yes. Are we going to get the Renekton, or is it just going to be like a Cassante? What do you think?
I think it could be Camille. If they're looking to match fighter for fighter, There's the Camille. Yep. Renekton's still an option, but Ilmessa takes Electrocute, and she can theoretically out DPS, out throughput the Renekton early. It's a very volatile matchup, but Camille is a much more standard, non-Vex related pick into the Ilmessa.
Yeah, so yeah, Camille has the Hex Tech locked down, so you can't get away.
Yep.
And then we end up revealing that this Karma is not support, so it ended up being a flex pick. They're going to pick Leona into the Nautilus. Is famously more tanky than the Nautilus, and so that is going to be their counter pick as Azir rounds out for the mid lane here. Wasn't banned away. They also banned Yone, so the counter wasn't even available in the first place. So what do we think about these two comps here, 74? Because on the side of Dorado, they do have a pretty strong 3 combo here: Ezreal, Leona, and the Udyr. So what are you thinking?
So I see 3 melees for Lilia. They have to run through the Lilia, who can just choose to ult them whenever they want. I also see that Fisher College here got the 2 contested picks. They got the Azir and they got the Mbessa for their players. However, they did get counterpicked on the Mbessa. But also, I see a combo in Nautilus R plus Mbessa R for the Ezreal. So you just Nautilus R the Ezreal, and then you Mbessa ult it, and it's a guaranteed. It's almost like Vi. You just get engaged on the high mobility carry. But you are correct. Leona, right, with W with Aftershock, will out tank the Nautilus. So let's see how.
Oh, sorry to cut you off here, but I'm seeing a pretty stark difference in early game prowess for these comps here. Because obviously Dorado, they have the Karma mid lane. Sir Zephyr playing that one, has played it before, as well as the Udyr and Leona. Like, this is some really strong early game that they have on their team. Meanwhile, for Fisher College, they have a really nice front to back, but that takes some time here. So what's going to be the analysis of this situation?
Well, Ezreal can take lethal tempo himself. You're not necessarily locked into Conquer or PTA for burst. You can take high throughput. You also can still play front to back, which you kind of have to because the Udyr has to run at the enemy team through with the Karma shields. But there is a small pick angle here. Say Camille finds a flank, ults, and then followed up by a Leona ult. There is potential flank and pick angles here, but both of them, in my opinion, have to still play front to backs. And I would favor Fisher College's front line lasting slightly longer and dealing more damage than the.
Certainly, if we get to like a late game team fight, like Fisher College's team comp in a front to back, it's just it's just the strongest. Potentially the top. In the history of League of Legends, you have Azir and Jinx here.
Yep.
So we'll see, but they're gonna have to weather the storm. Wayna here versus Sir Zephyr. Obviously, this could be Karma favored for quite some time, so we'll see how they adapt on the side of Fisher. So for now, where do you want to see both junglers go?
Well, first, I'd like to point out that he did take lethal tempo on the Ezreal, so he is looking for more throughput. It's a very strong build. It combos with your. They feed off each other. His passive feeds into lethal tempo, and his lethal tempo feeds into his passive. But it's a very volatile top lane matchup, but there's also point and click CC in the mid lane. You're going to have low priority, like you said, because it's going to be very Karma favored with Mantra Q push power early. It depends on, honestly, where these teams know each other the best. They know who typically either has some teams win games through specific lanes by virtue of who their players are. Some teams are heavy top side, some teams are heavy bot side. I don't know these teams personally. I've never seen them play. So their junglers are going to figure out or know who best to path to early.
Yeah.
But I would choose the Nautilus in this case.
The Nautilus lane is always a pretty good lane to gank. That is for sure. But both of these junglers kind of clear heavy. We'll see what they decide to do. Whoever gets faster clears tends to have the advantage. And we can see the push power of Karma already coming through. And Azir is taking quite a heavy trade. So Wayna is all right. This is to be expected, though.
It's also super hard for the Ezreal to match Jinx rocket push at the beginning, so they're going to get level 2 prio no matter what. But that's bone plating propped from the Nautilus. But they're not going to dive him, so they kind of push a little bit too fast if they wanted to leverage the level 2. So now they're just going to get priority and go ward.
Well, I mean, if they want to get the bounce back for a gank set up there. Oh, there's more poke just right onto Azir here. Wayna is getting low. I don't think anything is going to happen, though. But at best, a TP back to lane, which would be a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, you flash push the second wave, or like I said, you want to get the bounce back for the Lilia gank, or you can choose to slower push and leverage the faster level 2. but that's also only if the Leona and the Ezreal choose to give up an opportunity.
Oh, wait a minute. We have the dash away here. And yeah, just give you more pressure. And a TP in the mid lane here.
So I'm
Bit
saying,
of a CS advantage.
yeah, the Karma hasn't used.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So, Sir Zephyr, like, they both knew that the wave was going to be blocked, was going to block the Q, but can't block an auto attack.
Exactly. And then she can just shield herself out to block the turret shot.
Alright, volatile lane in the top side here, Yayo and Royal duking it out. Looks like the wave's bouncing back. Udyr is on the top side, so Yayo has to either get that wave in or is going to have to dodge a gank somehow.
Rasp and Bessa is standard, more so for like a little bit of a push out.
Yeah, so wasn't able to get the wave in, and now
Yeah.
this is the punish. Verdict is here. This is going to be a free kill. They're not going to give it to Royal. They want Verdict to be stronger. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sword Blue is roaming up. Flash Q, Nautilus Hook is going to land, and now hopefully they're going to be able to give this kill over to Wayna here. The heal, the chains. Oh, this would be actually a very unfortunate loss for Fisher College. They're going to try to commit to this one. Around the corner, and Sir Zephyr is out. And unfortunate, Flash going to be committed, but no kill. Oh, wait. Ward, Q, a heal coming in through again, but is this just a bait? Flash over the wall, Verdict? No, it's a disaster.
Yeah, he forgot that Karma has an initial heal on the RW, and then she shield herself. There's no way he can out DPS that, and then the inverted committed with the Flash to secure the kill. Super well played.
Wasn't paying attention to the cooldown. I know the ult cooldown is like 20 seconds long, so I'm not sure if the count timer was a bit off or just came up just in time there. But that is unfortunate. And now a huge lead to Dorado in this game. And remember, they're the team who wants to get the early game lead.
Yep. They need a certain gold break early. Every team plays differently. Every team needs different gold leads, gold break points to do what they've been drafted to do. Dorado is in the driver's seat right now, and they're hopefully can, for their team, if they want to win this game, play it out.
Flash Q doesn't get the kill with the grass stack there. But Yayo's having a tough time on Nabessa, who is the more early game focused champion. Sword Blue in the mid lane again, but trying to dodge because Nukes is here. Sir Zephyr is going to be focused as we have a little Zed time coming in here. Zephyr trying to get out, has the shield. Flash from Bravo is going to finish that off. And now with the Gets Excited is laying down the damage. Rockets, gunfire, picking up another kill. And while we were very worried for Fisher College, now it seems like they are in a comfortable position because their AD carry just picked up 2 kills.
Yeah, he got excited, like you said, and that was just it. They didn't have the damage, they didn't have the throughput, and then Jinx turns on with Lethal Tempo and excited, and it just took over the fight.
Yeah, and I don't think Zev was there, so actually was just pushing bot lane. So we'll go ahead and see this one and break it down for us here, 74.
Yeah, so I can't see the game time, but it could be a roam for a grub timer, but they spot them early, and then Sword Blue just leverages the power of Nautilus's kit to keep them in place, and they get collapsed on essentially 2v4.
Nice look at the end.
Yeah, it was an immediate barrier. Yeah, just clean play from all these. I think this is definitely a good roam from their bot lane, but it could have gone so horribly wrong if nothing happened, because then they would have lost at least 2 miniways bot lane for Bravo there.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous, but it pays off. I don't think they were expecting Bravo to be there, as you can see from their play.
Yep. I think that's also probably why Zev is bot lane, because he's expecting that Bravo needs to collect that wave, but he decided to play high risk, high reward, and roam up on an aggressive timer, and it worked out for them.
I don't think there's a kill there. Too much mobility.
No.
On Mbessa, but they do get 3 grubs. No takeaway option for Fisher as well, so next round of grubs is going to be a huge contention for either team, especially for a Camille, who has very good split push power, and then Ezreal, who can, of course, use the spells on the turrets as well. So if they get those 6 grubs, that is a huge win condition unlocked for Dorado here.
I agree. Camille's split pushing power is incredibly strong, but as you get in towards the 4, 5, 6 item range in these top lane matchups, Camille is oftentimes gated by needing to prep two Q2s. So if a champion you get into these higher gold thresholds can't out throughput her in the side, even though she's on a massive spike, 2-3 items with the Hydra and the Trinity Force and the Sterix. Which is what I'm expecting to see from the Mbessa as we get later and later into the game if we get to those gold break points.
Interesting roam down for Wayne. I thought they were going to lane swap a little bit. Thought that Azir's going to pick up this bottom wave, but it looks like went back to the mid lane here. And Sir Zephyr behind enemy lines is going to be slept up here. Jinx Rocket as well, so that's going to be an assist. Burns picks up the kill. Not going to be a kill on the Azir. I'm not sure. It does have the assist, so there's kill credit. So I don't know what happened. I see Azir ultimate is down, so I think just got Azir ulted into the turret, and that was all she wrote after that.
It's unfortunate. You drafted this as, of course, Mbessa and Azir, the Jinx, all these champions do outscale these more early game focused champions. So you have such a small margin for error on the Karma pick versus a champion like Lethal Tempo Azir, and he's just getting punished way too much to make it work.
Yeah, just wasn't respectful there. It does end up getting caught. And no flash either. So that was definitely going to be a kill. And nice picked up on the side of Fisher College. So Fisher College definitely striking back there. Don't have a gold lead, but in terms of gold distribution, not too bad.
Yeah, we have 14.9 gold versus 14.2. With 700 gold for an early game team is by 15 minutes, I would think you would need around at least 2,000 gold to say you're in the driver's seat. Let alone if you had like an Orin team, for example, you need to be significantly less ahead because you're just going to get 1,000 gold worth of stats every couple minutes. But I think Dorado is in the driver's seat for now, but they need to be significantly farther ahead in gold to play this out past 15-20 minutes.
Okay, so they're going to also get dragging here. So they're picking up all the neutral objectives. Verdict is quite strong. Just completed Leandri's, so don't want to mess with this Udyr right now. But I mean, Udyr can carry games, but it's it's a bit tough to do that on a tanky frontliner in these types of comps.
Especially when you're it's the Mumu build, right? It's the Conqueror Leandri's build. You're not actually tanky, you just have health. Engage.
Flash over the wall. Ultimate coming out. The Azir shuffle might save the day. Verdict gonna walk around, and so that is a dodge gank, but it does come to cost. Meanwhile, bot lane shut down. Zeb can pick up the kill. Now Swordblue has to flash away and run. That's gonna be the Zenith Blade connecting, and the kill. And now it is Dorado who strikes back, and despite the fact that you do have 2 kills up on Brabro, it's Jinx still needs those items to compete.
This is one of the reasons why I think Ezreal is extremely strong. Oh, a little bit of engage. Ult.
Verdict here coming. The Hextech ultimatum gonna keep Yaya locked in. The flash committed, but it is not gonna provide safety, as that's another kill down, and that's right before the grubs here.
This is, like you called out in draft, this is one of the reasons why you picked Camille into this champion. The ult bought just enough time for the gank to work out, and just locked it down, secured the kill. But we have a rotate here. Fight for the grubs.
It does look like Reynard's also coming up here, so actually, despite getting the kills, there is no TP on the Camille, and it's just going to be an even trade of grubs. That's a good call out from Fisher, knowing that they weren't going to be able to pick these grubs up, because it certainly looked like it was going to be secured by Dorado. But
their Karma stayed bot, and even though they got the kill top, they're still now down ults, they're down health pool. Oh, Q.
Okay, was buffered, and a flash is going to be used here, so Zev loses the flash. Bot lane, that's a lot of waves going into that turret, and that's a lot of damage as well. Plates going to Sir Zephyr.
It costs, the non-stop action this game.
Yeah, Swordblue is just going to get absolutely eviscerated. Walked up a bit too far. Was already warded, and gives over a kill.
That's more interesting to me because he sees his Azir bot lane, he sees his Lilia on his camp spot. He walks in essentially alone in an area where he's seen 3 Dorado members indexed to mid and just gets collapsed on immediately. Just not respecting his enemy at all.
Well, I'm not defending it. Sometimes supports just got a suicide for the ward, but I'm not saying this is one of those times, but I'm just saying that's how you got to play sometimes.
It's true. No one's gonna come and help you with the wards. You got to do it yourself.
It's someone's shop.
Yeah, but that was
not a good time. That was not good.
No, yeah. But that was one of the reasons why I like Ezreal as a blind pick or even as a power pick B1 is with this lethal tempo build, you can match in throughput through these standard crit base 80 carries with lethal tempo, especially if you get ahead early. And he's on Trinity Force versus Slingshot.
Okay, Hextech Ultimatum used early, gonna flash. We have the sleep hitting. Verdict is here. Drowsy asleep, just needs one tick of damage. Not gonna get it to activate the ultimate here. Jinx Rocket coming in a bit late, and now Yayo's super low, gonna drop. Nukes is here. Verdict did not continue. I thought it looked like it was gonna be a win for them, but I guess they don't have full information.
Yeah, that's. We saw a brief glimpse of it there.
Sorry, blue.
Granted.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
That was close.
That was close, but we did see a brief glimpse of it there. Amesa completed on one item versus components on Trinity Force with the Camille. Just absolutely rocked the Camille in the 1v1, and it's just going to get worse and worse as the game goes on.
And now we find ourselves, Dorado has about a 3k gold lead here before 15 minutes, so one of those criteria has been met. And they're looking like they have nice control over the game to get first turret as well. Fisher College a bit behind. You know, it doesn't seem like they were able to macro around a solid defense to prevent this lead.
Yeah, instead of choosing to give up certain things or play a little more respectively with their scaling comp, they've elected to take slightly more aggressive opportunities for high risk, high reward. I think twice now there's been massive waves that were sent bot that no one collected through roams. But I think they needed to play a little bit more with respect in mind to what their comp is and when it excels, and maybe perhaps give up 2,000 gold early, but no deaths in some objectives. But they have a rocky start to this early game.
Well, they're going to potentially have a 4v5 here. TP on Royal, but not on Yayo. And yeah, with full Mia on the side of Fisher, Dorado don't just walk in and face check these brushes here wisely. Sword Blue leading the charge into this mid lane to try to get Prio, and it does look like there's no way to contest this Prio in mid lane for now. Brobro has completed one item. Who do you give the fight if it were to happen right now?
I would give it to the Lethal Tempo Ezreal on completed Trinity Force versus non-stacked.
And it just gets hit, chunked out, does have TP, has to make it out, but is gonna get sniped in the back. No one blocked that shot. Zed doesn't get hit by the Nautilus anchor toss. And, well, what looked like a potentially good front-to-back fight for Fisher College has now been disrupted, and they're going to go for some turrets here. They don't have to go for this dragon. They can just knock down the mid lane. That's way better. We have Burns trying to make a bit of defense. Sword Blue walking up, going to land the anchor. Brobro's still alive, using the ultimate. Can they get a single target down? Burns is trying to kite Verdict, but this is an Udyr who's also fast in the early game. And they're not able to secure a kill before the gets excited, and Yayo loses in the 1v1. Royal is surely far ahead now.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, I don't know. Nice snipe. Yeah.
Thank you for the picture-in-picture there.
That's shut down. Like I said, the question you asked about who do you give it to before that series of plays have played out is Brabo went for a stacking item in the Yuntals, of course, because it's scaling crit base 80 carry. But Z is on completed Trinity Force at the time with lethal tempo, and he's already ahead in gold. So I 100% would have given that fight, unless you get a crazy or nutty Azir ult that just separates their team. That I think Dorado is firmly in the lead right now in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it wasn't really the best engage. I'm going to be honest to start that fight. And Wayna getting caught out in the beginning. Did have TP, but just wasn't able to utilize it here. So Zephyr does have the movement speed. Wayna getting chased down by Udyr. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to make it out of the situation as they get burned down. And Sir Zephyr with the shields. It looks like we're going to get a flash commit from Sword Blue. Anchor not ready yet. Yayo's here. The tanking of the turret is not going to kill them, as they do trade. It looks like they're going to trade mid and bot for top turret, so not a very beneficial trade here. Brobro's trying to defend it and gets caught by the Zenith Blade. Verdict here just going to burn him down. Royal on the side just for extra measure. And yeah, they're just giving up the map. They're making trades, and they are not even going neutral on these trades here for Fisher College.
My question is if Fisher College thought they were going to be winning this series, because every team has their own thoughts about how the series is going to play out as the week goes on for prep, and they didn't come into this game fully respecting their opponent, because they're not exactly looking like they're fully online in this game.
Well, I mean, I think they knew that Udyr was coming, so they had
for sure
Lilia. So that looks like they prepped that. giving them their best champion. Sometimes it's a good strategy, sometimes it is not. Depends on how well your team can execute the counter strat. And it looks like they are going to pick up one neutral objective, so that's going to help them a little bit. Unfortunately, though, I think this game's already in a winning position for Dorado. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. It would need to be a crazy series of throws. You need at least 2 throws in a row of lost tempo to even come back to a neutral game state. But even then, it could be even one big throw if it's followed by a couple of objectives. Say Jinx gets to 3 items before she should have been able to get to 3 items, then they have a chance.
Well, surely if if HLE can lose that one game to KC, Fisher College can mount somewhat of a defense in a very strong front to back comp. Okay, they're going to try to get gold with this fairly immediately. It might be setting up a trap, but Sword Blue is here, so if they overcommit, they actually might end up giving away free kills here. Burns is going to be ulted by the Hextech Ultimatum. Waynup's here, but now they're free frying. Sword Blue has shown this. Sleep is good! And it is a turnaround. They didn't respect the roam down from Sword Blue. And now this is actually quite the comeback moment for Fisher College. They might get a second crash. They are giving up top turret, but in terms of a play, this one might save the game for them.
Yes, we had that snipe on the Camille from the Jinx, which got the shutdown gold in Jinx's pocket. We had a massive shutdown go to... Oh, re-engage.
Here, Zenith Blade is going to be on Sword Blue. All the damage being soaked up by the support here. Ultimate from Nuke trying to get Wayne, but it's flashed away. This could be the make or break moment here. Royal trying to find an angle. Sword Blue still alive. One tap away from death here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, look who's picking up turrets. Fisher College are turning it around.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed to get back in the game. They needed a series of influx of gold. That's crazy. We saw what Lethal Tempo, Nashor's Azir did bot lane just now.
Another That's 2 snipes in one game. Unfortunately, I think Yaya's going to die here. But, bravo with the snipe.
That's crazy. I mean, that's awesome for this team to come back in the game. But you saw what a single item Lethal Tempo Azir was doing, and he just full bought Leandries. This also a second item rush from Mbessa for a Karma comp, for a Udyr W comp, for a Camille passive comp is a massive, good 10,000 IQ purchase.
Okay, well, it looks like Fisher College might be in a bit of trouble here. The burn from the Udyr gonna pick up the kill, but can they get more here? Baron's not gonna be up for quite some time. There's really no objective. TP coming in. I guess they could try to secure Otacon. As I think I can keep track of which Otacon this is.
Yeah, I don't. It's I think this is gonna be the GA one because we had
it's Otacon.
Yeah, because we didn't have enough
it's mostly the EXP that you get the pedals for this one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh no, yeah.
Bravo,
it was
no 3 snipes in a row, but this is good for the EXP, so they're gonna get that.
I thought there might not be enough kills early to spawn the flower one, but there was just enough, it looks like.
All right, well, it looks like Fisher are completely going to give up the top side here. They're going to go for bot side play. Trading on the turret, it's already half HP plus the dragon. We'll see if they converge on the dragon or they try to get both these objectives here. But otherwise, if they do pick this up, this might be some great macro coming out from Fisher College in the mid game.
Yeah, Dorado elected to take... Otacon is honestly a bait objective unless you have won a massive team fight before it because it shreds your MR. It is very difficult to take. It takes forever to kill. So by virtue of that, they spent all their tempo to get that objective, which gave Fisher the dragon.
Oh, engage straight onto Sword Blue here. Do they get a good dragon? It's on 3. Bravo's here. This is just full damage right onto the Camille. Sword Blue is traded. Can Jinx, what they get excited, do enough damage here. Nukes is going to fall as well. Bravo gets shut down by Zev. Burns is here, but is not going to be for much longer. And it looks like that's going to be a clean sweep of a team fight. Rest of the Fishers here, Yayo and Wayna pick up the kill back. And now it's just a slaughter back and forth here. It is surprising that the game state would turn out this way.
If we were at 7,000 gold right now, I would say this is almost 100% guaranteed to Dorado, but we're still in the sub 5,000 gold territory. I still think this is possible for Fisher to come back. They're trading, they're not getting 100% stomped in these fights. And we have a replay coming in. Yep, we have...
Break it down here.
Yeah, we go proactive from Dorado here, but then we get immediately drowsied, and the lethal tempo is just stacking up on the Azir in the backline, completely untouched, just absolutely destroying their front line. And then we have a TP coming in first before Yayo can get there. Well, we're TPing. Yep, there it is. There's Yayo's TP right on Z. But yeah, they just play. My bad, go for it. You're good.
No, that's fine. And Bravo here does get sniped at the end. So, I mean, if Bravo is alive for, a couple seconds longer, it's just completely in their favor. So, Zev kind of saving that team fight there.
Yep.
And unfortunately, walks straight into Wayna and Yayo on the way out, making it completely even fight for a 5k up team on Dorado here. Wayna.
Yeah.
Yep, gets out of there. Yeah, saw the Camille, was like, nope.
I don't want any part of this. Get me away from this champion. Especially with a Hydra, any short trade is going to heal up from the mini wave, while Zir has no innate sustain. So any trade is bad for him against that champion and those items.
Yeah, unless you could keep Camille off the wave, not going to be good here. As we do have some advantages. I see that Sir Zephyr is an item up. Burns here trying to harass. 80 carries, looking about even in terms of items.
Yeah,
this is the gathering mid.
Yeah, this is the 3-item territory for Jinx. If she gets this LDR before the gold balloons, this is potentially very scary for Dorado.
Okay, unstoppable, but is going to be able to have enough movement speed to escape there. But no real objective that's going to be taken anytime soon. Baron is up in a minute. Another hook and a land. They're just going to go for it. Sir Zephyr under heavy fire. Bravo, though, is face-to-face with a bear. It is going to be flashing away. Can Royal finish off the kill? Looks like that is going to be it. And Fisher, they've lost heavy team fight damage. Burns is trying to slow-low 1v3. Meanwhile, Royal going to walk it back here. And without Bravo, there's just no way to win a team fight.
This is another aspect of playing as a team. There's a clear engager, right? It's in the Nautilus hook, but there's not a clear who stands on the Jinx and stops the Udyr from killing you. You saw that as the Udyr just dove straight past the rest of the team for the Jinx, and then the Camille as well. Sword Blue had to slowly walk back to the Jinx, and it didn't work out.
This is why I like Azir, though. If you just put Azir on top of Jinx, Azir appeals for himself as well as the Jinx. And you can see here, they're separated. There's just no way to stop this Udyr anymore. And something that's great about Azir versus Udyr is Udyr can't get around the wall and then the finish off by Royal. So, unfortunately, I don't think their teamfight positioning was beneficial for their AD carry.
No, and this is a communication thing. They're not declaring who's peeling, who's diving. They're not saying who's peeling the Jinx if the Nautilus is engaging. They need to get on the same page if they want to win this game. But we have LDR for Jinx completed versus Shojin for the Ezreal.
Yeah, so this is great for knocking down the front line. And that means Jinx doesn't have to play super dangerously to get that kill here. TP coming in, Wayna is on the top side. Burns is here. We're having Royal follow as well. Can they pick up the kill route from Sir Zephyr? Just such a slippery champion on the Karma. Meanwhile, poking on the way out. Sword Blue has to anchor toss away. Cooldown is short, though. Provide
those rockets. One rocket just hit about 5 to 10% of 3 champions' health.
Alright, Dragon's coming up, but honestly negligible in the game at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting to me. What build is this blasting one going to be in? Is this going to be? I think it's going to be Void. It's going to be. I don't know. It depends on what the Zir goes for. What he chooses to go for his third item. If it's going to be Pen or if it's going to be more just raw IP. But the game is getting to the point where the Karma is being less and less effective, but is still slippery, like you said, to engage on.
Fisher College fully willing to engage there. Sword Blue throwing the hook. And it doesn't connect, so it looks like they're going to be giving up this dragon here. They're not getting anything else on the map, though.
Yeah. I wonder if Lily is going for the Bloodletter's third, or she's going more with the double amp tome for the 3 Haunting Guys items. It would be good for the Azir as well.
Rylai's is pretty good against a team that wants to run fast at you. So I think Rylai's is... They did nerf Rylai's systematically over the years.
Yeah.
But looks like Fisher just going to go straight for a Baron. Obviously, if Dorado's running at them, that is a good position. And they're a bit slow here.
Yep.
Do they have enough damage with the Azir? Okay. They have the blue.
Oh, it's so gone.
They're all running it. Oh,
it's so dead.
This is too late. But can they make it out alive? Sword Blue
True.
providing the distance here, gonna engage on the hook.
Oh, great
with
investment.
Yayo, can they get this kill? Meanwhile, on the other side, Brabro is getting absolutely eviscerated. Now we have Wayna also falling, and this was a completely disastrous team fight. Do you think Fisher could have just walked out of there instead of engaging?
Yeah, so they've got two clear choices, right? There's a couple of their champions that either could choose to walk out together, or they sacrifice some members and some people leave the wall from behind them. But if they just use the Azir ult to walk out behind them, they just press Azir ult if they try to engage on them, and then they get out. But I think they thought they won, or they would win the fight with the Baron stats, and they were just sorely punished for it.
Yeah, it was a bit close. We'd have to see replay to see how they got on Bravo so effectively there. But with the full team fight ace, that is going to be a win for Dorado Gaming here as they pick up the first victory. A bit of a roller coaster of the game. They admittedly were in the lead most of the way through here, 74, but it was pretty close at times.
This is someone I see a team that doesn't exactly know, or they didn't actively play for their win con in the game that they're playing. It's the Azir with little tempo, it's the Jinx with little tempo. You play front to back, you peel for them, you let them deal the damage. That last Baron fight, we had Nautilus doing his own thing with his hook, and Bessa doing their own thing with their ult, and like you said, there was just not anyone peeling for the Jinx there, and he was just allowed to be run over.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of backline access. The Camille coming through from Royal, as well as Verdict just running straight through. Burns ends up doing the most damage in the game. 3 melees plus, a Lilia. So, unfortunately, Burns, pretty good on the Lilia pick, seen them multiple times play it, but is not going to be allowed to do that any further here. So, in terms of reconstituting these drafts for the next game, what do we want to see here, 74?
Well, Burns, as far as I can see from his solo queue and their previous custom games, he's a very heavy fighter champion. I don't think Lilia is. He did deal the most damage this game. It's not his default wheelhouse. If I would say Pantheon, Lee, Viego, Darius, Wukong. He does play Diddley every now and then in solo queue. Sometimes Zyra, but I would say he's much more of a bruiser, fighter, jungler player than tank and AP. So I'm looking to get him on something more like the Panth or the Viego, and put him maybe with a Renekton top lane and just play strong 2v2, or we pick a weak side champion and a heavy engaged bot lane, and a weak side top, heavy engaged bot lane, and just play with one of his fighters bot lane.
All right, 74 there, laying out the winning formula. We're going to go ahead, cut it to a short break, and when we get back, we're going to have game number 2 for you guys. Welcome back, viewers, and we are here with the second game. Dorado Gaming have won their first game. I'm sure Zol is doing jumping jacks while they're watching the stream right now, just hopping around. 74, break us down how they won that game.
I mean, Dorado had a very clear strategy. Early game champions, pick, team fight. Ezreal took the job security keystone in lethal tempo. It will always be a value. Doesn't need burst. But in my opinion, I think that Fisher attempted to overroam or overplay their hand early with a scaling comp, and then when they did get to the item breakpoints, they kind of left their AD carry to the wolves. They didn't really look coordinated. They didn't have a clear strategy how they wanted to play team fights out, and they got punished for it.
Yeah, not a lot of enemy team walking into them, more of them meeting in the middle, which did open up some avenues onto Brabro, which was their main carry at the time. I think there was some really good roams from Sword Blue, honestly, did save the game. Like the first roam on Sir Zephyr, unfortunately they weren't able to get the kill, but that was a huge
Yeah.
roam. And then the fight down bot lane as well. Um, I'm not sure what's up with the Azir because Wayna kind of didn't look too comfortable in this game, at least on this pick. And unfortunately, that was kind of a key piece they needed to win the game.
Yeah, that's what I thought the Azir was going to be a heavy prio. It's good that he took it from Sir Zephyr. I think overall, from what I could see, for Sir Zephyr, it was Azir, Ryze, Tristana, would, like in my opinion, his three best picks. But then he didn't get the Azir, so they put him on more of a neutralizer lane in the Karma to facilitate the Udyr. The Udyr got massively ahead, and it was just almost impossible for them to throughput DPS check the Karma with the Empower W and her shields. So he just did his job perfectly, and his team popped off.
Yeah, and also Zev many times jumping into the back line to assassinate Bravo to basically secure the team fight. So Zev,
Yep.
excellent job in that game. Ended up doing a lot of very, like, not the most damage, but very important damage. So interested to see what they're going to be doing in this next draft here, which is your job to predict.
Yeah. So I think so. As far as I can tell, Fisher swapped to blue. I think we're looking at Corky Prow here. As far as I remember from the last draft, Fisher is the one, like you called out in between games. Fisher's the one who banned it when they were on red side. So I think Corky is the chicken champion. They're playing draft chicken with Corky right now, and let's see if red side Dorado has to ban it or if they're going to look to get B1 Corky here.
Yeah. So did believe Dorado actually banned Varus and Ashe as well, which means
Yeah.
very strange that they're not willing, because they were on blue side, so they're not willing to first pick either of those, at least in game number one, which is super interesting. They did get their Udyr, but that's not going to happen this time around. So it does bring up the question, what's their prio? Ezreal's gone too, so like, what AD carry are they going to jump to?
Well, I think. Well, because there's it's interesting, right? You called out earlier in the game one draft or the game one cast that the Udyr has a problem with the Azir wall, which is why you wanted to stack the Azir on the Jinx. The Udyr can't just walk through it, right? But if they draft Varus or they draft Ashe, the Udyr has to walk into Varus ult, or he could empower it, or the Ashe ult. Difficult. So if they wanted to prow the Udyr, maybe that makes sense. But we have a Nico banned here. But
So
Dorado.
Nico Callista is out. No more
Yep.
Nico Callista there. Yeah, Ashe is pretty good against Udyr. Things that like to run at you, like Udyr, the Volibear, have a real tough time with Ashe. So if they're gonna change up their prio now, that would be interesting.
I think Dorado banned Darius on blue side as well, so it just means they do not want Darius for burns here at all. 0-0, they don't want to see it in the game at all. Ryze is a very smart ban as well against Sir Zephyr. He took out the Azir with the Fearless pick. The Ryze is an excellent chopping block. Tristana would be the next priority, I think, for Sir Zephyr. Or he goes into the Cinder or the Smolder or the TF or the Corki.
Yeah. So right now I'm thinking Skarner, I'm thinking Cassante as the strong picks left up, like the super, game-changing picks. So we'll see what they prio here.
Well, they kept the same bans on red side. Yeah, there's the Corki, B1. So that's a super high priority pick. Contested a bunch of these different players. It makes sense to me that they B1 to Corki, but Dorado banning the exact same champions as they did on blue side makes me think they had a plan for the Corki specifically. And they chose to get the contested Aurora pick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Yone would be a bad pick here. So I don't know about that. Okay, so they're gonna pick a really good long range engage tank
Yep.
in the Maokai. There's no Lilia or Udyr. I guess Viego's up, but that's kind of a risky pick. And you have Corki, so you don't really want to pick Viego here. So Sejuani or Vi? Ooh, I'm not sure about Vi here, to be honest. What's your thoughts?
Depends if the Maokai is jungle or support, but that's the whole point. Is you can flex it. Like I say, technically 3 roles. You can go top, jungle, or support. But yeah, it looks like they're just looking for dive comp here. Even though Corki doesn't have package anymore, looking for Vi, Rakan. But Rakan can also play disengage, so it kind of has to depends on what Burns calls to do if they're going to play engage or disengage.
Okay, so they picked the Lilia, which I mean not Lilia, the Lulu, which is very good into Rakan and lane.
Yeah.
Because you can polymorph, you can use the ult to knock up Rakan to prevent his engage. Olaf is going to go. So Corki's also a flex pick, but I do think we're really dropping the 80 carry here. So they have to ban Xayah, makes sense. It's a full dive comp, Xayah plus Vi.
Yeah.
But what other 80 carries are popping in your head for Dorado to pick up here?
See, Ezreal's gone. Xayah's banned. You're having to deal with Vi. You could just choose Mage bot lane, but they went Lulu, which isn't going to prioritize staff playing water.
You can't go Jhin either.
Like if they blinded Nami here, they could choose a Mage bot and go with like a staff of flame water build. Mel. Yeah. So, but the Lulu though makes me think perhaps there's Tristana. That's something that can buffer.
Tristana bot lane though.
Yeah.
This has got to be flex pick again. So double flexing here. They're trying to really mix it up for bot lane.
That's what I'm saying. So I would think this is going like you said. Bot lane doesn't make sense. I think this is Sir Zephyr. I think Royal got his Aurora, and I think they're gonna R5 a bot
double
lane.
80 carry makes sense for Dorado's here. So I agree with that.
I do both times though. Jax into the Aurora is interesting.
That's gonna be rough early. But later it's gonna go really hard on double 80 carry. So we'll see what ends up being the last pick. Zeri. I think Zeri's like Ezreal light. You know, less range, more dive focus, but can still work. Operate as the super safe. We've seen Zeri Lulu into Vi many times. This is nothing new here. But where are you going to give it for these comps? Because we were kind of already talking about full dive from Fisher College. They kind of rounded it out with a little bit more burst of the Corki and the mid laner that I'm totally blanking on the name right now. But yeah, they have a lot of burst damage. What do you think here?
So Zephyr is. So Syndra in general is in his, I guess, sphere of influence for his pool, but I don't see an avenue for both of these teams outside of just the Maokai is the beefiest one. They both picked low beef, just slam.
Low beef.
Yeah, low beef, low front line, just slam each other with damage comps. And in a Zeri Lulu comp and Tristana reset comp, I would perhaps give this to Dorado. But like I said, the X factor could be how the Jax and the Vi play together as the game goes on. Or if Syndra gets some crazy nutty EQs.
Nutty EQs would certainly change the game around here. Lots of squishy champions outside of the Maokai, of course. We'll see. Maokai is a supreme team fighting champion. It really changes up the game once you get to that phase.
Ooh, he's going Red Smite.
Red Smite, yep. So you want to get the poke off your E saplings. And that does a lot of damage. So this might just be Leandri's Maokai, which is going to be... Oh, wait, but it has Aftershock.
That's what I was saying.
So go on the tanky.
So when I saw the Aftershock, I wasn't exactly expecting Red Smite, but I guess... Yeah.
Just a little amp damage. You're hoping they walk out the Maokais, get poked down before you engage. So no Leandries, otherwise you'd be going phase rush. As Sir Zephyr is holding on to the flash, but it is a big chunk. Does have the TP.
They're already winning. Damage numbers, padding the damage numbers. They get Prio now, they can go ward. Done. Game's over. Called here.
They do lose Prio bot. Or they do lose control bot here, as Zeri Lulu are going to go ahead follow up into the tri-bush there. And I think they're going to get Prio. I don't know. Maybe or maybe no, but it looks like they're going to get Prio bot lane.
Yeah, it's very hard to push against Lulu, or even Zeri, if she ever EQs.
Double range, yeah.
The Lulu's just going to queue through the entire mini wave too. If she truly wanted to get absolute priority for roams, it's hard to outpush these two.
Yeah, the poke damage there. As we have the very classic Tristana
Yep.
level 1 W jump in. This is the huge.
Yep.
Out trades a mage, as expected here.
Oh, dodges
Ooh,
the Q.
nice
Super
little,
important, actually.
nice little chunk back on the way out.
The only advantage the
And
Cinder has is she's got 2 potions versus the Zepper's 1.
yeah, um, well, Tristana should get pushed for most of the game.
Yep.
It's really on Cinder to scale up and then provide that AP burst damage later. You know, one items, 2 item spikes. Ooh,
Yeah,
Wayne
it's
falling
just...
early. Oh, that's a miss from Sword Blue on the grand entrance here. But they're, I mean, it's going to be rough to win this lane. Zeri and Lulu, they just have so much all-in potential on you on this bot lane where they're looking to hit level 3 on the side of Fisher College and play more trades.
Yeah, it's just... This is why you pick Tristana into control mages, like you said. It's just going to out-trade it. It's going to be an existential threat as the game goes on. However, if Cinder does get ahead... Oh, kill bot lane!
Okay, kill bot lane. Does look like Nukes might be able to pick up the double kill. Bravo flashing back, but is going to be able to, importantly, I think, is not going to lose out too much because Nukes is going to slow push it in here. Wave's going to crash, so I think that Bravo is going to have a nice CS lead, EXP lead more importantly, but that's a huge kill. I believe Sword Blue picked up the first blood, which is unfortunate, but support picking up first blood is not as bad these days.
Yeah, support's eating good right now. Oh, that's a great EQ from Fog. Just taking free damage. But we get to see here. Okay, so they're going to ward. They got Prio.
Oh, it's just okay. I thought it was gonna be the separation here. Goes
we
in,
forward.
doesn't have it to dodge. Thought they could just kill Bravo. Turns out that was a huge mistake. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Wayna is just one hit away. Polymorph onto Sword Blue to save Sir Zepper. Can Burns get a cheeky little flash kill here? Is just giving them the thumbs up, saying, "Hey, you don't get to push this wave in. We're gonna get to pick up this wave." That was really close because if Sword Blue does get that last auto, that is going to be a death on their mid laner who doesn't have flash and is going to be forced to burn TP, which is very unsafe.
Yeah, that's playing on a knife's edge right there. I think sub 50 health for both the mid laners there. Just one extra auto attack from any person is just gonna.
Here. Yayo, they're getting into an early scuffle.
Yep.
Lena get a TP to the ward. We have a nice Q over and stun from Yayo. And this does fizzle out crazy. We don't see who picks up the Raptors. I'm assuming it's Burns because they're up about 3 camps, actually. So that is actually 2 camps, so that's quite a bit.
Yeah, Yayo pushed his wave in and then used the tempo to burned it to go roam. But ultimately, it's just a very difficult matchup, so he wants to leave the lane and go fight with this jungler, let the Aurora do her thing, not take free damage.
Yeah, you really want the game to extend in longer lanes where you can chase down Aurora is better for the Jax here.
Oh, like you called out, he E forward.
Royal didn't go grasp for like the super early poke.
Yeah, if you know Surdy, he plays Aurora and Kennen a lot top lane. Oh, we have a little bit of engage going on in the river.
Verdict's gonna just flash out. Sword Blue trying to follow, doesn't get it. Okay, so Surdy strat on the Aurora. What do we got?
Well, yeah, so he's in the camp that grasp doesn't. For a while, he was in the camp that electrocute doesn't significantly increase the damage you're gonna output in the lane versus you take grasp to stack more health, be more tanky. You're still gonna trade with auto attacks with the grasp. But lately, a lot of the Auroras are going back to the electrocute because electrocute got buffed recently, so you can proc it better, faster, and deal more damage throughout the course of the lane phase, and then have stronger burst
it's
at
better
2+ items.
For sure. Electrocute's better later. Grasp is better earlier. Specifically levels 1 to 3, Grasp is way stronger. But yeah, compared to the rest of the game of Electrocute here, as we are, the game. This is a lot slower than game number 1. That's for sure.
Yeah, I favor a slower game in this case to the double A to carry comp in the Aurora for team fighting. However, side lanes being more rough. Oh, we have an engage. That's it, just 2 autos.
That's what you do, Tristana. You just jump on your any mage and just auto trade them down constantly.
We have a little roam here mid lane from the Lulu.
Yeah, Nukes is here.
For the grub timers.
Already up at the grubs here, and Verdict is dropping low. The Vi is just gonna smash through those health bars. They're trying to give it to Reyna, but it's taking a while, and they do pick it up on the Syndra. And so Fisher College out with a lead, the smallest of leads, but a lead nonetheless.
It's interesting because your verdict here, you're indexing towards grubs. You see that your top laner is pushed in. The Jax has the push on the Aurora, and your bot laner is bot, and you don't see their bot laner or there at all. So you would see, oh, they're indexing towards the grubs. They're going to contest me, and he got collapsed on.
Yeah, there's always this information game that you play in bluff game because you know Sword Blue could be there, or he could be on his way, or he could be too far.
Yeah.
So it's always a game that these guys play, and it's really based off those timers, and knowing the speed of the champions is very important for that.
Verdict in his chat going, Team 1 help me, FFGG.
I wouldn't, you know, expect people to be toxic so early or so late into the tournament.
Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, it's just funny. He's just like stinky players. Let me die at grubs.
It'd be more like, oh, dude, the enemy, they're just targeting me. They're just so annoying. You know, that's a common one.
Yeah, this is payment for the Udyr game. I'm being targeted now.
Dragon's still up. No one's taking it just yet.
It's interesting because he's not going the Faded Ashes build. The Vi is going to have a decent clear against the Maokai as the game goes on too. So you can see that CS lead, like you mentioned earlier in the cast, building for the Vi. And after being punished on the grubs, it's just an exasperated lead.
Bro. Okay, well, it looks like the engage is coming in. Verdict's on level 6 though.
No flash on the Maokai.
No flash either, and that's just a clean disengage. Bot lane is not going to get a kill. And this is just going to further build the tempo advantage in the jungle here.
Tristana died.
Oh. Yeah, I believe I see Burns' ultimate is on cooldown. Cease and desist is up. So while Verdict was trying to get a kill bot lane, mid lane, they pick up a kill onto Sir Zephyr here. And
that was one of the things I was attempting to highlight was if it's like a stat check game, right? If the Syndra is ahead enough, she'll have enough items. If she lands the EQ, it's a kill confirm on the Tristana. Why the Merc Treads is important for that single bit of MR. We'll see if the Tristana elects at some point to just pay the tax on the Hex Drinker or not, if she's falls far enough behind. But this could...
We'll see here if Sir Zipper lands the buffer on the cease and desist. So good. He's just trying to trade it. Yeah. They already used it for more damage. So no buffer there. As bot lane, we have a huge fight. Zev is sustaining through this fight so far. Brabro's out of mana. Do they have enough? Sword Blue's going to get caught up by the ultimate of Verdict. And that is going to be a gank on the bot side. Sir Zephyr's here. They're trying to dive Brabro. Only has flash. And I just don't think there's any hope for this Corki here. Verdict's taking damage. Going to W out to drop turret aggro. And that was beautifully played.
But that was the case. You have Conqueror versus the Tempo. You have Lulu versus Rakan. Zeri ult. As long as you're landing autos, as long as you're landing Qs, Zeri ult's going to stack and stack and stack. You just lose the stat check race unless you can burst it with the Corki build.
Now, it doesn't come without a cost because we see here Burns is invading, and they do get the wave pushed in on mid lane here. So Sir Zephyr going to fall a bit further behind. Did pick up the kill, so it's not too bad. But the one who's truly hurting here is Verdict. And look, they're just all over the jungle. You're going to gank bot. You're not going to get this topside farm.
But luckily, he went for him in this case because he is Aftershock and Maokai. He will be one of the best low econ jungler tanks in the game.
Yes. Yes, the CC will follow through pretty much guaranteed regardless. Okay, no dive over the wall here as we have grubs. So if they get all 3 grubs here, that is going to be a nice advantage, and it looks like it's not going to be contested. Meanwhile, Brabro is like, yes, 1v1 versus the Zeri. I'll take that, please, and it is 100%. Winning so far.
Yeah, she's on Sheen versus BF Sword. I mean, Sheen plus his kit is very heavily favored in the short trades, and if Z just chooses to take short trades, he's going to be sorely punished every single time. But free grubs going on for the Vi.
All right, that's going to be 5 grubs, which is huge. Oh, Yayo getting a nice trade. They have the split pusher on the Jax. And if Jax is starting to win this matchup already, cease and desist, but right now Royal's invisible. Was it the flash not going to provide the kill?
Could ult here. Could ult here.
Oh,
Another
meanwhile,
kill.
bot side, we weren't able to pick up the start of that, but that is a kill. TP down from Wayna as well. And it looks like Burns does eventually get the kill onto Aurora as we have the engage from Verdict. Sorbu's still alive. They're trying to fight this out. If they pick up one kill, it's going to be worth it. They're trying to continue this play. Meanwhile, topside, Jax is getting more time with the turret. Wayna's still alive, still pretty healthy. Damage coming down. Sir Zephyr going to flash in. Turret shot going to change that. They do trade kill. Sword Blue trying to pick up a kill on Nuke's kind of cheeky. Shield coming through. Certainly will die after this one. But importantly, is stalling for time. And we can see on the top side, 2 turret plates left on that top turret. Meanwhile, Brabro did die early, is able to pick up this wave. So in terms of overall value, 74, I think not too bad for Fisher College.
Yeah, it's interesting. Top lane is a very volatile role, as we all know. You know, you mess up once, you won't touch them anyway for 5-10 minutes. When you pick like Aurora into a pick like Jax, the onus is on you to not mess up once, or else the Jax will run away with the lane. But also same thing, if the Jax messes up, the Aurora gets a certain item break points, she will just destroy in the short trades. Corky with the E, just out throughputing.
Yeah, Zephyr thought he was going to win that trade, and it turned out that was a no. Still no item completion on this Corky. 2 items is the huge spike when you get your money.
Yep.
So that's what they're looking for here.
It's even funnier because the exact same trade happened with the Zeri on the same items. It was BF Sword and Slingshot, and the Corky won again. And then the Tristana jumps in for this exact same trade and loses as well because he has Merc Treads instead of Tabbies because he's playing in Syndra.
Yeah, Wayna gets the turret plate here, and I have to say, having a significantly better game, as Zev says, this is the angle. Burns is here, going to completely dissuade this. Still has the Lulu ultimate, so definitely doesn't want to go in just yet. But that's the ultimate of Zeri going down. All right, let's see here this bot side.
Yeah, they're just diving. It's 4v2. TP comes in from the Syndra.
Mid lane. Wait, hold up. We gotta go to live here. As we have the ultimate for Verdict. Sword Blue is super low, is gonna make it out. Verdict is exposed. Wayna is low, so they can't overcommit. Robro is here, but that's a lot of ultimates down. If Fisher College are able to make it back to this dragon, surely they're going to be able to win the team fight. Meanwhile, they're just going to go for a dive straight onto Royal.
Yep.
Burst damage through, and they're going to pick up this turret as well. First turret going over Fisher College.
This is why people who say range top, cringe XD, it's a very difficult to... There's a reason why top laners are top laners. They have inherently more stats for tankiness. Another kill down bot lane for Zephyr. But the Jax also has built-in tankiness and burst with his ult. So if he chooses to go in on you, it's a very difficult matchup to navigate unless you are executing super well on the Aurora pick. And it looks like the Jax is coming away with it.
Mm-hmm. And I believe the changes to Aurora, the last set of changes, kind of made her kiting against champions like Jax not as good, as it looks like mid lane Zev gets caught up here as we were watching Lulu try to roam up, Zephyr to roam up to this one. Verdict's gonna W in. Zephyr's firing, free firing so far. Sword Blue does have the polymorph, but is able to charm the damage from Wayna here. They're gonna get the shutdown, and now they just have to make an escape. They're not gonna win this fight, but if they can get anyone out alive, that's gonna be a win. Nukes does get the kill, Sword Blue, best support on support. Yayo's here. It looks like Brabro's going in. Do they have the kill? They get the Lulu. Nukes is down, and now Verdict is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yayo here, Royal. This is a 2v1 for now, but Yayo's surviving so far, extremely healthy. The rest of the team, they're going to go ahead and go for a cutoff. Stun comes through. This could be the it. Verdict is going to fall, and that's another win for Fisher College. Now, this is certainly not a clean game here, but Fisher College are battling it out, and they're coming out on top.
Yeah, dude, look at the performance from Yayo and Wayna. They are absolutely destroying this game. Of course, their team is backing them up, but they are just dealing the damage, and they are winning these fights.
Okay, Zev not respecting the capability of Burns there. Does fall, but look at this extended fight. Remember, eventually, Fisher College do win this one. The charm coming through, despite the polymorph, is a big deal. Sir Zephyr isn't able to get the kill for the potential reset. Lots of damage from Royal and Verdict, but this is not like a huge backline damage setup here. So unfortunately, they would not able to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, we have Aurora in another tough situation. Yayo forcing the ultimate. And yeah, Brabro picking up another kill over the wall. But, you know, this is action packed now. Slow start.
Yeah. That was such a great 3-man, I think, EQ from the Syndra towards that banana brush, and then they just collapsed with the numbers on the Maokai, putting the Jax even further ahead. This Jax is going to be a monster. The Syndra is already a monster. This is a very difficult situation to navigate for Dorado.
Yeah, Fisher College, they're not a team. I mean, if you have Sword Blue on your team, they're not a team to sit around and do the slow victory. If they feel strong, they're going to go for these plays.
Yeah.
And you can see they're playing very aggressively. Sword Blue's going in. They feel confident. They're going to go in and they're going to play, that more LPL style. They're not just going to sit around and take a comfy victory here as we have Wayna being surrounded. Nukes is here for the polymorph. Burns is on their way. Fine time so far. Now the Vi is here, and now Nukes is just completely out of position. There is the damage. They're just not trying to waste too much to get the kill. Royal just TPing in the middle of 3. Verdict using the ultimate defensively just to get out. Yayo's teleporting here, and they got him on the run, but I don't think there's going to be any more kills.
There was a funnel at the end to ult the Jax out too. But yeah, that was them thinking they had the numbers. That was them thinking they had the timer, the tempo, and they got collapsed on because they didn't pull the trigger fast enough on the Syndra.
Oh, Sword Blue's playing aggressively here. TP
Yeah.
in mid lane. Yeah.
Oh, Misty Q. Oh, that damage is
2
crazy.
spells is half HP. Zev's not even level 11 yet. And yeah, we were talking about Wayne having a good time. Look at the items already. Yep. That is a lot of AP. Can we actually just get the AP on this Syndra here? Because I don't know. I don't even know if Verdict could potentially survive a full combo.
No, that's Shadow Flame.
Syndra.
That's 10 stack Doran's ring.
Right, so flashed 280 there. 7-1 on this. Oh, Sir Zephyr. If you hit the stun.
That was a great EQ into the Tristana W.
Yeah, so was able to pick up the kill there as well. Sir Zephyr, it's like a rougher game than game number 1, but still is hanging in there. The question is how much longer can they hold, because it is a double 80 carry comp with a Maokai, but it's looking like they're starting to fall apart.
It's they have double Yuntals. It needs to stack. These double 80 carry comps need at least 2 items if they're in a neutral state, 3 items to even start having a chance against champions like Syndra that can build Blackfire, Shadow Flame, and just delete half your health bar. They didn't play respectfully enough, I think, and they are getting punished for it. They just need to slow it down. They need to get these item breakpoints, and they need to just take a deep breath. But overall, you need to collect. But overall, you need to collect these shutdowns. It's not as bad as it used to be. I think at this point in the previous versions of the bounty system, Wayno would have had a 700 gold bounty, so there's going to get less paid out here as the system benefits or punishes people it perceives as to be solo carrying the game less harshly. So it's smaller bounties than it would be before.
All right, they're running straight into Yayo here. That's another kill on the Zev.
Yeah.
Very confident cease and desist from Burns here. They are going to get the stun onto Verdicts here. Ultimate going to just try to dissuade this turret dive. So hopefully taking a lot of damage. Is squishy on the Rakan. They do pick up the kill there. Fisher, they do lose the support. But they're still in a very commanding position.
Yeah, I think Sword Blue is just, he's seen any angle. He's seen any play. We're ahead. Push our lead.
Oh,
I don't care if I die. Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
It's the Wayno show. And Sword Blue is just making sure it happens.
All right, Bro does drop low. Barry going to save the day as they pick up that turret. Now, I do see Otacon is up. They're going to go for this turret. They're kind of split right now, but they are very strong. Yayo going to get ulted back by Sir Zephyr. Now the chase down. They do have the Lulu. They have to be very careful walking into a Syndra who will one-shot you. And they thought twice about that.
Yeah, and even just before they attempted to run down the Jax, the Syndra sent 2 spells at the Tristana and deleted half her health through Lulu's shield.
Thought they were comfortable, but it was a bait all along.
Yep.
Sir Zephyr goes down again. Going for a bit of Hail Marys, kind of like Fisher College in game number 1. Understandable. Yep. You feel like you have to make a Hail Mary to win the game, but that was not the one.
Yeah, we need to be at least less than 2,000 gold difference in order to prevent this team from running away with the game, and they just keep handing them gold bounties, just handing them bags of gold, bags of money. Here's some more items. Here's some more experience.
Royal did get the turret, but it does cost them their life for pushing. Yeah. And yeah, when the juggler just casually comes by and kills your top laner, not a good look.
Yeah. This one, is still technically winnable for, like I said last game when it was the scaling Jinx comp. This one is still technically winnable for the Dorado comp. They just need to stop the bleeding. They need to play more respectable. They can give one more dragon away. That's 5 more minutes minimum. Actually, it's probably like in 9 minutes ish with the current dragon timer. So they can attempt to get to these thread and breakpoints as fast as possible for the soul point or the soul fight.
I'd be more worried about Baron right about now, as it looks like they're establishing control on the top side. Zev's going in, double knockup.
Yeah.
Here we have Verdict with the ultimate. This is a 3v5 on the side of Fisher. Wayne's finally going to TP a little bit too late, but right in front of the Maokai, flash immediately out into the safe zone. Serves up, but doesn't get hit off by the stun there. W comes through with the true damage. That's a lot. Yayo's in the front line for now. This 4v5. Verdict is just tanking up the damage. Isn't going to survive for much longer. It's Sword Blue with a triple ultimate plus the stun from Wayna. And they're just absolutely wiping the floor with Dorado Gaming here. And this might be an early victory.
Yeah, they could end. They could end. They have a wave. There's 4 alive. They could end. That was an absolutely monstrous recon ult from Sword Blue.
Zol, look away. You don't want to see this, as it looks like Fisher College are going to strike back in game number 2. I mean, this was a dominating game. It was a bit rough at the start, but once they got the lead, they really punched their ticket to victory. And I have to say, Wayna and Yayo looking a lot better in game number 2.
Yeah, this looks like they... Usually that game 1 from Fisher looks like a game 2 in a best of 3 series. Say you're the team that's the higher seed, you come in, you stomp game 1, you come in with a little bit more of an ego draft, you know, you're riding high off the previous game, and you kind of just lose game 2, and then you have to refocus back for game 3. I just think that they got gut punched game 1, and Fisher College came in just ready to play.
I think whatever team gets the early comp has won so far. I know it's a small sample size, but maybe both teams prefer playing with a lead. And so, you know, when we come back 74, I'm going to give you some time. Think about what team is going to try to get the early lead with what comp for our next draft, as we send it to a break while we stew on the plans for both teams in the future. Okay, welcome back, everyone. After a back and forth series so far, Fisher College have won game number 2, thus bringing us to the final concluding game here to win this series. And their reward to play the number 2 seed in the tournament, Tempest, which is going to be a very tough challenge. And I think it's going to be right after this. So it's going to be an uphill battle after this one here. So 74. I tasked you with finding out, who's going to go for the early game comp, who's going to get that in this draft, and what those potential picks could be. So there's a lot on your plate right now. I'm just going to send it all your way and let you talk.
Well, yeah, to piggyback off what you said is, yeah, immediately. So they're going to play a 3-game series, banger, 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 right into immediately reload, go into play second seed team. Difficult to stay locked in for this many series, this many games, comms, communication, keep all the hands warm. But you're right. So I asked earlier, and it looks like, yeah, both blue side teams have won. Both early game teams have won. Both teams that have selected for the late game scaling option have overplayed their hands and gotten too much of a gold deficit too early and have lost the game because of it. So if we're playing with Dorado Gaming on blue side this time, I'm thinking we're trying to get us, because Jace so far has been banned every single time. Varus banned, Ashe banned, Corky's off the table, Azir's off the table. Vi's gone. So one of your strongest jungling enabling picks is gone as well. Maokai's gone, Lily's gone, the Udyr's gone. We're deeper into these players' pools than they're perhaps oftentimes required to play. But I would be looking for here to see if the bans change up at all. I want to see Pantheon. I want to see Lee Sin. I want to see Viego. I want to see playmaking early game champions. Gnar could be a good option too for a blind pick on blue side. But yeah, we're into the draft. We'll see if the bans change at all here.
So if the bans do change, if we're dropping a ban, that's going to have some huge implications here. And that is afforded to Dorado because they are on the blue side.
Yep.
As you said, both blue side teams have won today. And it does seem like it's really based off that first pick. That's really kind of deciding the games, especially the early game phases here. So Gnar's gone.
Change
so
the ban.
That is interesting. So, they've been kind of not going for Cassante many times so far. Very strong pick. So I'm interested to see what's going to be the plan.
So by changing the Gnar ban and by banning the Rise here away from Sir Zephyr, now that the Tristan and Azir is gone, that means that they're by not banning the Ashe on their side, that means they're looking to perhaps it's going to be probably Varus and Ashe exchanged here for B1, okay. B2, B1 or R1, or they could go something completely out of left field here, like with the Pantheon.
Right. So, I mean, Varus' first pick is just super standard, very strong overall. Yep. There it is. So, Zev gets a very strong pick, and Zev has been a very good AD carry so far. And now the response. So, yeah, they don't have to go for Ashe right now, to be honest. They could get some other prio picks as well.
There
but
it is,
they're going to go ahead and just match it. And now I'm assuming a jungle pick coming.
Yeah, that was if they're Ashe, if it's Burns, I'm looking for Pantheon. It's Ashe ult into Pantheon ult or Pantheon into Ashe ult. There it is, boom, 1-2 locked in. It's also flex pick with down there. So for blue plays engaged champions, I don't think it's impossible for him to play the Pantheon if he wants to. But yeah, that's what by them dropping their bans to swap it for the Gnar, swap it for the Thresh, and keep the Rise ban and drop the other ban for the J4. It looked like they were handshake the AD carries, and then they picked Burns' best fighting champion that Spica popularized.
So Nico gets picked up. Wukong here. Do we see an Alistar? Maybe.
I like this. This is Wukong jungle matching with the Pantheon. I like it. It's fighter for fighter. It's team fight for team fight. But one has more global rel jungle. Dude, such a great wombo combo. Such great team fighting. Absolute, just so much CC. I'm liking Fisher's comp so far, but Varus is still an extremely strong pick. With a lot of build options that could be the X factor here.
Yeah.
Or Verdict on crazy Wukong.
On both, we're a bit dive heavy on the side of Fisher College. Yep. They both have dive options. Wukong could also play very, very nasty disengage as well.
Yep.
So we will have to see what is going to be the flavor of each of these comps here. I think top lane picks starting to get removed. So we see the Gragas and Aatrox. That kind of signals to me like a tank top. We'll see. So Cassante's gone, so it's not going to be Cassante.
Yeah. Well, Gragas is one of the best blue top lane blind picks. There's so many different. You can go phase rush, comet, grasp, change up the build order. There's a lot of different ways you can play that out depending on the matchup you get. So it's a good blue side ban, or it's a good red side ban for a blue side blind pick. But we're gonna go with the Renekton blind pick, standard for pro. Nargon, Jax is gone. I'm interested to see what. Okay, standard top lane handshake matchup.
Okay, so the Ornn, people like playing the Ornn into the Renekton because, yes, Renekton gets advantage, but nothing too big, and
Yep.
Ornn can play through that and then eventually become that massive team fight powerhouse. As we get a pick champion here, very hard to play. TF going to be in the hands of Sir Zephyr, who has played Roam Champions before
Yep.
on other roles. I'm kind of being reminded of a Bard that he's done, at least in scrims when I was there. So that is going to be matched up against a Silas. So let's just say this straight away. Fisher College has no range. No range whatsoever. They're just going to go all in. They can't do anything else besides go for the kills, go for the throw. And you know what? It kind of fits their style.
Yeah, I think the Silas is a good pickup here. It essentially tosses the glove down to the TF. So, hey, look, I've got Ornn ult, I've got TF ult. I'm going to match your roam with your own ult. Varus ult is a great pick. A lot of good ults to steal. Also threatens the all-in on the TF constantly. The second he uses gold card, he is potentially going to get all-in. But you're right, they are go forward, they are dive. Renekton's going to build probably Cleaver, Sterix, and just match the Pantheon with a dive.
And no wave clear. So if they start to lose this game,
Yep.
expect it to be a disastrous crumbling of defenses here. And they're really putting it all on the line on this game to win it. There's going to be no backup strategy. It's just going to be either we smash the early game and win, or it's going to be a rough one.
We got early bone plating is good to know. Bone plating is smart on the TF. That reduces how much you can get all in early.
Yeah, it does work very well against the early Silas trades as
Mhm.
well.
But that
It's been
also,
a very long time since I've seen this lane, but I do know that TF can effectively harass, but it's just so risky without a movement ability.
yeah, Silas is any champion, like you said, is immobile, is always existentially threatened by champions with high mobility and all in. Like there's a reason why the Aurora lost the Jax. It's just very difficult to execute a pick like this. But we have the bot lane Prio for the Varus. More push power for the Nico and the Varus lane.
Yep, to be expected here. Stun, gold card gonna land from Sir Zephyr. As you know, Brabro doesn't have the most protection in this comp, and there is a lot of long range engage. TF can ult around as the Ornn Horn comes. Varus ult from long range, so this is gonna be a tough game for Brabro.
Like you have multiple avenues here to choose to start a fight for Fisher, which means you need to be on comms with your team, deciding who is playing engage, who's playing dive, who's diving first, what are we using to follow up the initial dive with, and is someone peeling for Brabro, and if someone is, who is that person? We need dedicated roles, we need dedicated communication, or we're gonna get a replay of Brabro on Jinx.
I think what they really want is for them to be on the defensive here, just like this beautiful gank coming out from Burns here. Wave was pushed up, perfectly timed. And of course, Silas in levels 1 to 3, very good to gank around. Just does a bunch of damage as well as providing that CC. And there was no escape. Good thing from Zephyr is doesn't blow the flash because they know that they're dead. And saves resources.
Yeah, this is the inherent problem of picking something like the Twisted Fate. That's why it's fallen out of pro play a lot. Is it's very vulnerable. J4, Vi, Wukong, Pantheon. There's so many junglers, like just 5-6 junglers that can just gank and repeat with any setup from the mid lane. You could pick LeBlanc into it, Silas. It's just a very difficult pick to execute with a coordinated, strong mid 2v2.
Yeah, very strong 2v2. It's hard to play around them. Wukong needs some time. Really needs the ultimate to be effective, and so it is going to be rough again for Sir Zephyr in this game at the start. We'll see what the plan's going to be because Verdict does get like a bit of tempo because Burns used it to gank that mid lane. We'll see if they're going to be able to fight for crabs here. Verdict's here, full buffs. Lena's buying some time. Stun going down. Burns is engaged on Sir Zephyr. Buying more time. Can't
we're gonna
be
flash,
there. Flash stun from Yayo. And again, Fisher College coming up. Huge. We have Nico here. 3 Wukongs. What's going on? Burn doesn't kill Lena as Verdict is going to use the clone to get away. And that's the top lane advantage coming through to mid lane and jungle. And right now, Dorado are behind, and as we stated before, whoever got the initial lead would win the game. Nico playing cheeky, but it seems to me Fisher College looking fairly confident here.
Yeah, like I said, Ornn eventually outscales the Renekton, as the Ornn items come in. But essentially, you blind picked a virtually impossible to execute mid lane pick and a weak side top lane. So you've essentially drafted.
All the Meek gonna be huge here. Conquer the stack. Sorry to cut you off. Verdict's
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, sorry. I'm just being polite. You don't have to apologize.
You're good. Tell me to heck off. Tell me to heck off. There's plays to cast.
As we have here, bot lane is going to be 2v1 for now. Nico finally making it back to lane. As now it's going to be like, what is going to be happening mid lane? Because Lena is playing super aggressively. They do have flash advantage as well. Are they going to use this for early grubs, or are they just going to stack dragons? What's the game plan here?
I don't know. It depends, because the reason why they drafted this, right, is because you can weak side this bot lane. They can play defensive. Ashe can use ult defensively. Rel can use ult defensively. There's very difficult to engage on these two champions if they use their abilities in a disengaged fashion. So they can be weak sided pretty effectively. And you drafted just an insanely strong top side 3v3. So I mean, honestly, the world's your oyster. If you've got TP Prio on the Renekton and you want to choose to use that tempo for dragons, go for it. Renekton's not like the craziest split pusher, but you could also heavily index for 6 grubs if you want. I think the world, this game particularly, is in the driver's seat of Fisher, and if they want to prioritize grubs or dragon, either is fine.
Yeah, I don't really think their comp's gonna hold up in the late game, so I think getting the grubs might be a good strat for them, especially early here. And yeah, they're weak siding bot right now, and Brabro is behind in CS. I'll be real, it's a tough lane, but that is quite a hefty CS lead for Zev.
Yeah, 18 CS, but it's about 10 CS for the top lane right now as well. Even on CS, despite the pressure for the TF, so he's holding pretty good.
Ooh, yeah, this lane sucks for Royal. Wave's pushing away. He's low, doesn't have TP. There's just no way to collect this. And Yaya's going to have a huge gold lead after this one.
Yeah, they're going for grubs, trading for dragon, super easy. The next one is the issue because of the distinct spawn times. So we'll see how it goes. Who prioritizes who rumps first. We have Wukong in the bot lane fishing.
Top lane dive here, and they do pick up the kill. Just Royal just lost control of the wave. There's just nothing you can do at that point. So they're going to be able to pick up a kill. And no one dies up on the top side. So huge advantage to Yayo as well. And no counter dive bot yet. We'll see if Burns just runs straight bot or is confident that they're going to be able to hold.
This is also super important because that Renekton was able to get the full pickaxe before he used his first TP. And like you said, Wukong's coming bot. Let's see if they dive. Poke down on Bravo.
Yeah,
we have
Bravo's super low.
No TPs available for either Wayna or Yayo. Dive looks like it's being called off.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to be able to catch them under the wave, but they are going to provide pressure here. More trades coming up from Wayna. As I mean, that is still pretty hefty gold lead for the bot side, but the rest of the map clearly in the hands of Fisher College.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, he
didn't have a card.
Yeah.
Didn't have
or even
a card.
If he didn't get creep blocked, he could have potentially tried to run him down.
Alright, looks like the ultimate is just getting used for scare tactics here. And here's this dive that was being set up. Yayo does start it up. Burns is able to finish it off and is not going to be killed by the turret on the way out. And yeah, Fisher College, this is a bit of a slow and steady dismantling so far of the top side for Dorado and Fisher. We'll see what they can do to basically keep this snowball going.
This is one of the strong points of Pantheon Jungle. Not only do you have strong clear, you have strong ganks. You're super strong early, so you win most 1v1s. That's why Darius is good too. You just play around the Darius. but he also has the ult, so he can just ult for ganks rather than having to be inside of vision range.
Okay, a little bit of a dangerous proposition for Burns and Sword Blue here. This is kind of their quote-unquote strong side of Dorado.
Yep.
So it looks like Verdict is thinking about it. We're just going to land on Sword Blue. Just going to hop out of there. And now Silas is in the picture. It's a bit scarier for the side of Dorado.
We went with Alternator first, so I think we're going Proto Belt on the Silas. We're not going the Rod build. We still Conqueror, though. Or an ult.
Or an ultimate call. The Meek might be up soon. TF will certainly change this around. And a solo bolo for Royal into the Renekton. That is unfortunate there. You can see the Thornmail actually was the game decider in the top side. Made a real difference in that last call of the Meek. Otherwise, would have been too much HP.
Yep, yeah, he would have potentially lived, but then sort of died to the TF ult. But yeah, that's just a misstep. You're just handing your opponent free gold. But it happens. Solo balls happen. Nico ult.
The counter ult back, and Brabro just completely health bar to 100 to 0. Sword Blue here. They're going to get the double stun. Zev does use the cleanse, and now we have Verdict providing defense, but that's not going to stop the spear that goes through his heart. Burns is dropping low, going to try to get out. Verdict picks up the kill. Double buffs on them, but Wayna is here, and now they're going to have to make it out alive.
Oh my gosh.
Not the case. Wayna, absolute monster on the Silas so far. And, man, the confidence is building in this Silas, and it's looking deadly.
But that is exactly how that lane's supposed to play out. You have Varus ult, you've got Nico ult, you're threatening an existential all-in, every ult cooldown. But Wayna just got paid out absolutely fat. He's a monstrous lead right now.
Yep, Fat Cat in the mid lane chilling, lots of gold, lots of EXP, super strong. What else could you want in a Silas pick right now?
Especially with how early game is supposed to go for the Silas. But here we have the replay. Yep, just walked at them. Just walked at them. No cleanse. Couldn't flash. Double ult used. But then they don't have the ult for the continued fight. Yeah.
It was pretty good look from Zev and Verdict here.
Yeah.
They did have a good counter engage back, but there's just too much assistance when Wayna comes in with the TP, and it would have been even, but they're not able to escape from the scenario. Meanwhile, top side here. I wasn't counting the earlier grubs, but if Fisher gets all 6 again, they're just brutalizing Zephyr here. And yeah, this TF is just this is looking rough. With the rod is quite tanky. Can provide engage later in the game. Well, Wayna, you're going crazy now.
Yeah, that was a good donate.
Ooh, they're splitting the map. I mean, I guess this is going to be the option here.
Yeah, they know they're ahead. They're trying to prevent the dragon going over to them for free. Pantheon does have ult soon. He will be able to join it soon. It looks like they're going to get grubs for free based on Zephyr dying mid. Oh, Nico ult. Varus ult.
Huge shutdown. Does sustain off the Kingslayer here. Change of Corruptions is active. Gonna use it on the Wukong. Another Kingslayer. The HP, the trade kill!
Yeah.
Absolutely just cooking on the Silas pick here. TP's coming in. If they can't get out, this is going to be super worth it. I think Zev is going to be caught. There's no way out. Sword Blue makes sure that there is no escape. Double buff's going to be going over to Yayo now as well. They are giving up top turret, but it's to an Ornn. I mean, yes, Ornn's going to be in a good spot now, but I think this is a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, that stolen Varus ult from the Silas just absolutely cooked Verdict, and because even if this fall play didn't happen, they're now down on jungler, down smite. That dragon was going over them no matter what.
Yeah, Fisher just turning it on for the last game here.
Yep.
But they're not out of the woods just yet, because this is not an insurmountable gold lead, 74.
No, it's not.
What are some ways that Dorado can make it back in this game?
Look, at the end of the day, we need to unlock the TF. We need to use the TF ult. I don't think I've seen TF outside of attempting to help the Ornn secure the solo bolo top lane. It's like Shen. You draft Shen if you're using Shen ult reactively. Oh, we have an engaged Renekton versus.
So Zephyr just walked over a ward. Yaya was able to spot him coming early and catch him before the turret, and that's another punish as Zephyr is not having a good time. Verdict here also getting super low. Tried to make a play, last ditch effort. They're falling apart here.
Look, some people say some people have opinions on what role is the hardest. I am of the opinion that mid lane is the most important for because it's the focal point, right? 80 carry might be important later for throughput of damage, range, siege towers, but if your mid laner is having a bad game, that it bleeds out to all the other lanes. And right now we are 0-4-0 on the TF mid, and it is bleeding out to bot and mid and top.
Yeah. The thing with mid lane is it's just a test of so many things. Unlike other roles where you can ignore some stuff, mid lane, you have to be basically good at all of it. So
Yep.
that is what makes the role so difficult here. And right now, Wayna is showing their ability to roam on the map, play in the mid lane, as well as Nico finding an angle. I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't count my minions. And so didn't Fisher College. TF looking for an angle. Card is not going to be able to find anyone, so there's no stun. They actually make it out. They got hit by double ultimates,
Yep.
and they're alive.
Yeah, but that is different if you're on different item breakpoints. If Nico has AP versus CDR and movement speed, if Varus is perhaps lethality, but they didn't have the damage to pop the Ash.
Yeah, I mean, Sword Blue also makes it out. Brabro forced the
Yep.
cleanse, so that is something that is given up potentially for another dragon fight in the future, but for now, unpunished.
Yeah, we have Feats of War secured. We have empowered boots for Brabro. He's on traditional pro play 2-item spike for that champion. Probably going PD next, and he's just going to get stronger and stronger from here. And Varus on Bork Rageblade is always going to be relevant. You're dealing percentage max health anyway. You have the Blight stacks, so the Renekton will always be a threat, or be threatened by the Varus' kit and his items. But right now I'm favoring Fisher for sure, based on how they've chosen not even their champions or what their comps do at different points in the game, but what they've brought in hands and brain to this game 3.
Hands and brain, mental and physical difference so far in the early game. We have another objective spawning, as it looks like Fisher College in full position, full control of this game so far. Mid lane looks like there might be some action. Top lane could be a bit of a trap for Zephyr yet again. Ultimate going to be popped, so all is going to be revealed, as there's going to be a huge engage on the bot side. We're just flipping to the other side of the map here. Nuke's going to hit a decent ultimate, but no follow-up. Meanwhile, now Zev is just going to be exposed. They do not have the capabilities to dive as of yet, but they don't need to. They're just here for some objectives. They're going to get the turret. They could get a second mid-turret at 16 minutes. This is, I mean, these games are just so hotly contested, and now Fisher in game 2 and now game 3 off to a very strong start. Dorado, you have to be worried for their position.
There's a reason why Zeka can blind pick Silas and Akali. This champion, if it gets even the smallest gold lead, will run over games in skirmishes, and they drafted pure skirmish for their top side, plus engaged bot lane. You essentially drafted 3 weak lanes, 3 losing. That's a top 3v3, and it's showing here. However, of course, just because you draft something doesn't mean it's going to always work out. Dorado could have hands diffed them. Fisher could have messed up, but like I said earlier, Fisher has brought both the brain and the hands to this game to play, and they're here for all the chips.
Yeah, I would say Dorado was not able to punish on bot lane effectively enough to get back into this game.
Yep.
And that means that Zev's not really in a position to carry. And there's so many tools for Fisher College to actually get to Zev and prevent this Varus from dealing tons of damage. As we have Yayo here trying to make an escape against Royal. Gonna do so.
Yeah,
Bot
2
lane,
dashes.
though.
Yeah, you're right. Bot lane's happening. Indexing, maybe diving. For sure trying to get bot tier 2.
Oh, minion. Oh, does it see the minion on the map?
Nico.
It's Nico going to provide the CC, changes the corruption, and yeah, this is going to be a skinned croc. But they are giving up on the bot side, as we can see here. Verdict does supply the ultimate for Zephyr.
Let's see.
Yeah, this is sometimes what happens when you play TF. You just have no escape tools.
But I think these are what? These are Grandmaster, these are Challenger players. You see where your team is indexed, you see where their team is indexed. You can't defend this bot tier 2 as a 0-4-0 TF. He shouldn't have been there, he should have given it up. I don't think Zephyr is fully online in this game right now.
Okay, so they do prevent the charge from the second turret. But they're just going to go ahead, walk back. They could reset here as well. They don't really care about this dragon.
Nope.
But they can definitely reset for it.
This is a 6,000 gold lead at was essentially 15 minutes before
Yeah,
They traded
I mean,
towers.
they don't really need dragons to win the game at this point, so
No.
I'm okay with them foregoing it. Although, Infernal Dragon, pretty good stat wise.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's great.
this is a bit uh, what's the word? Risky.
Yeah, super high
A
risk
little
for
risky.
virtually no reward.
Ambitious, overly ambitious here. Yeah, so doesn't see the Nico. That's why I'm not sure what the timing was there, but it's a bit of unfortunate.
Yeah, but he sees before he pressed E and W, he sees this melee minion walking behind his
Oh,
tower. Yeah,
oh, Sar Blue. That was great. Just
yeah,
pulled him right in for
yeah.
the damage to pull through. All right, looks
Trying to
like we
escape with the
have a
ult.
skirmish on the top side. So Zephyr in the face of this Croc right now. Royalty's ultimate just on one. Burns now seems to be in a tough situation. Sorbu's going to ult away, trying to get out. Brabro is here. Yayo in the back line, right on top of Zeb. And there's Wayna there to set it all up and finish the kill.
And
As
oh
Fisher College are just picking up an ace at 20 minutes in this game. They've been on a roll for about 40 minutes now, and it looks like they're here to clean it up.
Yeah, after that game one, they came to play in game two on blue side. They absolutely demolished Dorado in a 22-minute victory, and that Stylus steal on the NACL was barely inside the ult range to steal, and then he just picked a great, beautiful 3-man solo NACL ult.
Yeah,
This
they really
game is
needed to steamroll that fight before Wayna got there.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't in time, and so more EXP, more gold difference in the hands of Fisher College. And yeah, let's go ahead. You're trying to break it down, but now we have the visuals to compare.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Yayo's buying time, of course. His whole thing here is I have to buy as much time as possible. Rel is peeling. We're buying time for Wayne to come in. Steal right at the edge of it.
Over the wall.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I'm saying, and then he sees where they're indexing to run away from the fight, and then he just gets a super clean E, Protobelt flash, stolen Nico ult, and it's just lights out.
That was beautiful. Gets a 3-man Nika ultimate, which is a lot harder in that situation than you think.
Yeah.
And so it's just absolutely playing with Silas beautifully. I just look at the score lines, the gold differences, the gold bounties. I mean, Fisher College is really, really gunning for a win here.
Yep. And I see potential ways for, the famous CLG, EU. They held the line for a 20,000 gold deficit. I don't see that happening this game with Elder Buff being in the game, but there is technically a possibility that Fisher College has messed it up multiple times in a row.
Okay, baiting out 2 ultimates for 1. So worthwhile trade plus the Silas ultimate, low cooldown.
Yep.
So ult economy in their favor again. Yeah, here is going to hit a bit of CC.
Yeah, but Yayo's in the 3,000 health range. He's very tanky, but under sustained fire from the Varus, and the Ornn HP damage will melt very quickly.
All right, not much Dorado can do here.
Yep.
9k gold difference. They're just kind of...
Look at the bot side vision. We have so much. There's 0 vision for blue side. They've got control words super heavily indexed to the dragon side. They have to spend this next minute clearing that vision and then placing their own. This is such a massive vision deficit that they have to claw their way back through.
Okay. Yeah, and they are getting a little bit of time too, but with the pedal to the metal, it's going to be difficult to consistently keep up the vision game here. Plus, they can't fight at any point.
Exactly.
It's going to be an absolute disaster as well. So, only thing they can do is hope for an overforce on the side of Fisher here. As they're going on to Royal, and Pantheon is in your lane, plus a Rel. Flash can be burned. They don't have to overcommit. The other thing is Fisher's not in a position where they have to overcommit, so they could just let that go, play the map.
There's one thing I think Dorado could do, is they could figure out 2 or 3 minutes in advance what objective they'd choose to make their last stand on, and they spend a 5-man squad for the next 2 or 3 minutes in that section of the map, clearing vision, and then placing their own, and then choosing to fight Fisher on the vision they just placed, trying to get it indexed, like a numbers index, to see if they can get a good team fight. But that's entirely up to if Fisher lets them place their own vision.
Yeah. Commanding control of this top side jungle.
Yeah.
Makes it really hard to make any plays. No flank angles allowed. You're just forced to front through right through the tanks here. Meanwhile, engaging mid lane. Wayne super low. Does go golden. They do get the shutdown. NACL coming in. This is a mistake for Fisher. Bravo super low. Sword Blue is going to fall surely. Meanwhile, Burns trying to provide some defense for this Ashe. And okay, they do have a mistake. The pick comp does activate, but
no objective up.
They do lose verdict. They do lose verdict. No objective up.
This is the you have to go into the jungle now. You have a numbers advantage. You have to use this time you just bought yourself. And you have to get vision.
Okay, is it going to be able to get the kill? Trade stuns means that Burns has to run away.
Yep.
But that was a pick. They do have that capability with the ultimate from TF. Chains of Corruption, Nico. They have picked tools at their disposal. There's just a lot of picks to be made to come back into this game.
Yep. Like I said, Fisher has such a massive gold lead that while it is not ideal to give up free gold, free tempo, free experience, this will not be the end of them. They still have a massive lead. We're not even close to putting vision on the objectives, let alone most of the jungle.
The gold difference in jungle. I mean, it's got to be crazy because I see 3 items on Burn.
Yeah.
1 item on Verdict.
Like,
Force is an expensive item, but still.
4,000 gold.
4K. Yeah, that's a big gold difference.
Yep.
Right,
All 3,000, 4,000 gold on the top lane as well. The mid lane is actually super even because of the TF passive as well, and he's farming more than.
Well. It does look like it is a difference in that top 2v2 here.
Yep.
No entrance being afforded to Dorado. They have both angles into this dragon blocked off, or sorry, Baron. And yeah, you don't need to commit too many members to Baron. You can easily take it. And with Baron up, what is going to be the answer? Because we did say that Fisher does not have ample wave clear, but with Baron, I don't think Dorado does either.
Yeah, you have if Varus went lethality, he could just Q through the waves, have great defensive wave clear. TF cards to the waves as well. Nico E as well. There's just so much defensive wave clear available to them, but with Baron, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, nice chunk of the Sword Blue, but yeah, they can't really commit to a support kill. They'll lose the next fight.
Yep.
Dangerous area to be hanging around here against a Nico, but there's just, I guess, not confident to go for the play. No punish here. Have to keep eyes on the Nico. Could be the game changer here. Burns is going to be focused down. Does still have the shield. Trying to get the kill. The knockups are both sides. Nico ultimate here. Wayna trying to fight back, and it's going to be huge. Bravo still alive. Yayo is fighting to stay alive here. Wayna does not have the gold capabilities in this fight. And Fisher do overplay their hand. That was a Baron.
Yeah.
Could have been a clean fight. They tried to bait it, but it is going to cost them. So Zipper to cut them off. And okay, the plan does work. They finally bided their time. Fisher College overplayed their hand.
That's a dragon too.
Now that is going to be a dragon. Not the biggest game changer, but they've killed the Baron.
I think that this Varus is on 3 items. He's got Ornn items. Ornn items are coming in. That was, I think, the last time they can throw. This is a lot more even than the gold is going to let you believe it is. But if they throw one more time, this is potentially looking like a Dorado victory.
You give it one more time. I might go with 2 at least. But here is, so we have the Baron. Burns, super aggressive position, separated from the team here. And even though they're all grouped up for a great engage for Sword Blue, it just doesn't get onto the carries in the back. Zev firing the whole time here. And this one could have been good, but the flashes were not burned previously, so they are able to escape their doom.
Yeah, I think Ashe is still on Kraken PD, so she's not going to be able to get through the Ornn well, and then...
I thought you said Ashe was on crack, but...
Oh, yeah, no. So I think she's on Kraken, Slayer, and then Phantom Dancer, but so she's not quite at the LDR or tank trading points yet. And then Wayno taking that E2 back into the Ornn was a bit overzealous. Oh, we're going BT. Yeah, so we're going Bloodthirster next, which is... I think most Ashes at this point do this, but you're still going to be delaying your tank killing power.
Well... It's a bit tough because there's not much protection, as we stated, so
yeah,
BT could be the way to keep yourself alive in these fights.
Yeah.
But it also means, yeah, like, Ornn's going to be a little bit more survivable than usual. Black Cleaver is going to be their best form of removing the Ornn. So, but they're not really looking to fight front to back, right?
No.
Team type comp, so.
Yeah, they're not trying to kill the Ornn through a DPS check, but they are they really wanted that mid tower, and they took the fight afterwards. Like you said earlier, they overplayed their hand and they got punished for it. And I think Dorado, 4 items now, Jack Show on the Varus. This is definitely. There's 1, 2, 3. There's only one item left is for the Nico. That's 4,000 gold alone in stats. Like I said, this lead is a lot closer than the gold lead would let you believe it is. I think they have one chance.
Zev, the game is in your hands.
Yep.
You don't have flash. You don't have cleanse. And Fisher College have a timer. It is unfortunate they don't get an inhib with Baron, so that's a really big play by Fisher College here. So we'll see if they're just going to wait around or they're going to try to punish the timer that Zev is on right now.
It's even more because they're not even starving gold out for an objective, or sorry, a vision out. Like they're not keeping them in their base with an inhibitor down to starve out wards that they can't clear fully. They're just letting them farm gold right now with 0 cost, and it's just going to get worse and worse as these minutes go on.
Yeah, I mean Fisher College don't have seed. They can start a team fight, long range engage of Pantheon and stuff like that in Ash, but it is a bit risky. You don't really want to throw the game, and they still are in the winning position. Let's be clear. Still in the winning position.
Fisher's in the driver's seat. The Dorado is in their base, stacked as 5, or almost as 5 for a reason. They know that if they make one single misstep here, their base is nearly open and could just lose the game.
Inhib has fully healed, so they get that little bit of extra time. So right now we have Baron in a minute and Dragon at 140 here. And so, yeah.
We need to... they need to blow Varus's cleanse, and if they want to win this game, they need to blow Varus's cleanse and then come back at some point before the cleanse is up to dogpile on him. They need... Dorado, though, if they want to win, they need to heal successfully for this insanely monstrous 5-item Varus. That could be using TF Gold card, defensively... Wukong ult defensively, all their cooldowns could just be used defensively to buy Varus seconds in a fight of CC to whittle down the opponent.
Big game on margins here, but yeah, no real play from Fisher. Don't really feel the need to make a play to get this inhib, and just waiting around for objectives to spawn. But that is buying time for Dorado to get to their item spikes. So we will see if this is the correct decision here. 74.
Essentially, it's a double-edged sword, right? You're essentially keeping them in their base. You're not giving them more gold. You're just trying to, like you said, you're doing multiple rounds of backs and tempo for getting vision secured, but you are letting them farm for free, even though you will be at the objective first. TF ult popped. Silas top lane. Renekton roaming with the Ornn.
Yeah, looks like there's an inside track for Royal here, and it doesn't look like Yaya wants to start split pushing. Bone going to reveal the position there. They are exposed on the side of Dorado here, and that is going to be the engage onto Zebra. Has to flash out, is not going to be able to survive. That's going to be going down. Nukes is probably the ultimate's not going to hit anyone. This might be an absolute blowout for Fisher. Nukes is super low. They're trying to kite back. Zeb's still alive, but there's no way. It's insurmountable to survive this many opponents at once. Wayna is going to be able to help get the kill there. Bravo picks it up, and it's just going to be the lonely Ornn. Royal goes down. The second they leave the base, they are absolutely punished. There's just not enough information, not enough space for them to fight, and it looks like Fisher College are going to be advancing to the next stage.
Yeah, we're tanking. Pantheon's tanking 1 tower. They have enough minions to keep the plating the defenses off. They're going to burn through the towers, and that's Nexus down. You're right. That is Fisher securing 2 back-to-back wins, and they will go on to play the next series.
And there it is, Fisher College. Their reward, Tempest, in the next round. What a reward it is. Number 2 seed here, as we said. There's a lot of great players on Tempest. So
32,000 damage.
Zev definitely tried to make up in the damage department, was able to do so. TF has been completely removed. Unknown champion doing 16.4k there. Oddly enough, Ornn, there's a lot of fighting around Ornn, so Ornn actually hit 22k. But Fisher College, beautiful game. They did have one hiccup, but if we look at the stats across the board, did an excellent job, and they had some pretty good macro decisions. Unfortunately, there's just one mistake, which is going to be a stain, but other than that, looked absolutely great in the last 2 games there, 74.
I agree. That little mistake reminded me of what happened in game one. I think someone kind of said, "Hey, look, we just threw. Let's just take a deep breath, play back to fundamentals. They're gonna have to come to us at some point for this objective. We pull the trigger with our globals, then pick them apart, make them play a separated team fight, and that's exactly what they did."
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Dorado, very well known in the amateur scene. Lots of teams, of course. If you've played in a tournament of League of Legends in North America, you know Dorado. So shout out to Zol for keeping it very respectable in the chat. And unfortunately for you, your team has been knocked out. So commiserations are going out to you here. But 74, I'll leave you some last words before we close it out here because Fisher College, again, going to be playing in another series.
So we saw them win on red side here, right? Which means that they kind of figured out the formula. Like they went back to what is comfort. We had we had Burns on the Pantheon. Like I was looking for the whole series was to him see if he picks his most picked one of the strongest junglers on the patch, and he does. He pulls out the Pantheon in that 2v2. Like I said, Pantheon Renekton topside plus the Silas was just an absolute monster skirmish comp. If you're Tempest, if you're watching this game, you do a little bit of research. Or okay, hey, look, this is a comp we have to be scared for. We have to ban out some of the key pieces, or we have to play to draft a team that can deal with this skirmish comp from Fisher.
All right. Well, there you go. As that's going to be it for us here on the desk. So just going to be reminding you guys 74 there as the color. I'm Crims as the play-by-play. Shout out as always to the GOAT, Chris Sunga for production, as well as Loki. So there you guys go. They were the runners of the show. And that's going to be it for us here. See you guys for tomorrow.